I think there's a hidden cost to overreacting, which people don't often think about in my experience. Obviously, you know what you see, which is when somebody says something to me, for example, and I kind of "Rah," bark back at them, or I'm unpleasant in some way, or even to myself, I can be pretty unpleasant reactively. It's really, really unhelpful. But there is this hidden cost as well. And I think people don't really think about the impact of it, particularly if we've done it over weeks, months, years, decades. And it's that there's this kind of life cycle to reactivity where what we're doing is actually responding in some way to feeling threatened or stressed. So our resources are low. And what we end up doing is we overcompensate. And it comes out with this kind of survival energy feel, which is really often just not appropriate to the needs of the moment. And that's where the damage comes from. That's where we say the thing or do the action or act impulsively or whatever it is. And this hidden bit is that after we've done this behavior, there's this kind of settling in of realizing how we've left ourselves, being untrue to ourselves. And there's a remorse. Now, we can be conscious of this at the time and feel terrible about it and ruminate. That doesn't solve it. We can also actually be in denial and ignore it and, not be aware of it at all. But I still believe, even in that case where there's denial, we are on some level falling into this trap of this hidden cost. And the hidden cost itself is this kind of, in the process of being untrue to ourselves, self-esteem goes down. Our self-esteem, when we leave ourselves, when we're not true to ourselves, it always goes down. And so if we're doing that over and over and over again, there's this building of this kind of identity of ourselves where we don't feel good. So that's a long-term cost of this overreactivity, not to others only, but really in terms of ourselves and how we feel about ourselves, our self-esteem. So what can we do about it? Well, the number one thing, the absolute most important thing as far as I'm concerned, is to develop some kind of kindness. It's the kindness to be able to be with all the uncomfortable feelings that come up, the remorse, the shame, all of these things for having behaved in that way, and actually be open to learning from it, to be open to going, if it involves another person, I'm so sorry, I'm really sorry. That was not what I intended. What I had meant to do was say this. It came out sideways, and I'm sorry about that. In that case, it actually becomes an opportunity to recreate a better bond with the person. But the essence, whatever it is to see if we can have just a little bit more kindness towards ourselves in those moments where we've overreacted. And over what time, what that does is that starts to separate out that not truthfulness that we've been to ourselves. Doesn't really make sense, that sentence, but not being true to ourselves separates that out so that we can actually feel better.